Revolutionaries, hey, revolutionaries. Huh. When my soldiers at, when my soldiers, when my soldiers at, when my soldiers, when my soldiers at, and when my soldiers calling on soldiers, when my soldiers at, when my soldiers, when my soldiers at, when my soldiers, when my soldiers at, and when my soldiers calling on soldiers, when my soldiers we know what's the deal and know it's for real.
Yes, people, greetings one more time. Like promised, we have the artists in focus right here with us in this event called Veterans and Reggae Future Part 2. Greetings, Donovan Banzana.
Greetings, brother. All blessings to you,
So nice to have you,
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure also.
So Donovan, right now
yes,
you're in your yard speaking to all the millions of fans listening now. On yard.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly right here, sitting down now. Yeah, sitting right in a little place that we consider to be a safe haven, from all the wilds of the world.
Where is that?
That's over in St. Anne's, Jamaica. Ochoa St. Anne's.
The great St. Anne's.
Yeah.
About you and where you born from or where you born in, and yeah, just give the massive, a little bit of introduction who Donovan Banzana is.
Well, I was born in the parish of St. Mary, which is our neighboring parish to St. Anne's. So definitely whatever effect over St. Mary come from St. Anne's. We have some great people from St. Mary like Barry Salmon and Capleton, and a lot of great musicians come out of St. Mary, just as well as St. Anne's also, including I myself. I was born in a place called Jeffreytown, up in Jeffreytown, St. Mary. To a family of nine of us, in a matrimonial home. My father was an evangelist, and my mother was also a choir leader. So we lived that kind of evangelical life, and I attend the Jeffreytown school, and then move on, and I went to live in Port Maria, further down in St. Mary, which is the capital, and then transit on and to Ochoa, which is our neighboring community.
Great.
Yeah, man.
From man like Capleton, I big up your parish definitely, and you just mentioned a couple of great come out of St. Mary.
Yeah, a lot of great artists came out of
great,
St. Mary.
In this event, Donovan.
Yeah, man. I give thanks to be recognized in that capacity.
Yes, why I say, my brother. So,
true, man.
You just mentioned you grew up as a pastor's son. This is me coming out of Nigeria, where Nigeria has the biggest amount of churches in the world, Trust me. And where I grew up with so many of my friends who are pastors' children or sons and daughters and so forth. So you know that the Rasta thing is strong in Jamaica and connected. So how was it like growing up as a son of a preacher?
It was a very great foundation. It set us on a spiritual pedestal, and it has created stability and profoundness for me as a child growing into a young man to a grown man. Understand? We were never far from the principles of our spirituality, in the sense of recognizing who Christ is, and we have lived that life. That Christ likeness has always been our final point where we advance towards that living, as His Majesty speaks so highly of Christ Himself. So yeah.
So you found that comfort, from early age.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Because if the king can confirm that, who is any man to deny that?
Now you were as early age already, not just because your father was a preacher, you were already involved in the church choir or choir.
Yeah.
Sometimes we say.
Yeah.
Was that where the thing picked up, or did you get your inspiration to go into music from the choir, or were you already into music in somehow as a youth growing up, to be involved in that?
I think it has always been a part of our DNA as a family. I think it's a family trait also. It's some part of our heredity. My grandfather was by my mother's side was a guitar player, and some of my grandfather's brothers, they were musicians also. And then on my father's side, my brother used to sing with a group, and my uncle is a guitarist. He plays and sing and write also. My little brother used to be into his rapping and DJ. So my sister who passed sadly, she was also always involved in performance and singing, and we have always had that kind of trait within our family, that type of heredity that came down. So I think it's something that I could not escape and would not want to escape.
True. But then, how did you make then the journey to get professional with this natural talent?
All right. So what happened? I used to have this friend, who, when I say used to, he used to live in Jamaica, but now he lives in Canada. So he was the first person who introduced me to reggae music in that sense, when he gave me a Dennis Brown cassette at the time. So what happened? I started to listening carefully because how we grew up personally. I used to just listen to mainly American kind of music and different influences, jazz and different things, and then we started. I started to listening to listening to Sugar Minott or Sunday, Heptones, my favorite group, Heptones, Leroy Sibley's, who's the leader of the Heptones. I was always, enthused by his vocalization. Bob Marley, he came in and did this thing wonderfully. And, there's so many different influences that captured the whole journey that you used to just listen to and was really influenced by. But my greatest influence at the time up to this moment was really my mother, because she was a good singer, very great singer. Not a published one, but she was a great singer in the church, So I used to follow her to choir practice all the while, and that time they used to call me Baby D, because I was like they at the seventh one, so they stop at 7 for a moment, and then 8 years after they had my next brother and my last sister, which is Denise. So it has been that, that's been a good journey. So then I started to do a little thing in the community with our little friend, with friends. Then we used to have a little group. There was a brother who used to play his guitar in the community car. We call him Gardile. We were always around him. He was they used to just stay in the corner and sing. We used to just gather around him and sing along. So
from your EP now out, and people have to enjoy this one before we continue into the reasoning. Yeah, I say this is from Donovan Banzana, thing called Quiet Riot. Listen to this now.
Yes, sir. We don't know them.
We don't know them. We and them are no friends. It's gonna be riot. Want to demonstrate. make Rasta talk to the nation. Riot, what a demonstration. Quiet, or you be lying to the nation. Economically, we're not doing well, but some man hide the truth. It's like them afraid to tell. If every day the bucket keep on going to the well, one day the people gonna rise up. Oh, and rebel, it's gonna be riot. What the demonstration? Quiet, make Rasta talk to the nation. Riot, what the demonstration? Quiet, cause you be lying to the nation. What about the future for the suffering youth? And the youth deprived of the truth, now them get so destitute. You're creating demons, devils in disguise. One day you're gonna wake up and find them right before your eyes. Gonna be riot. Want a demonstration. Quiet, make Rasta talk to the nation. Riot, want a demonstration. Quiet.
Yes, Donovan.
Yes, I. Come on. Great vibration, you know.
Yeah, you are the man in the focus. Tell us about this track, because I've been playing it, you know, I played it when I was listening with Josh, you know, because
Yeah,
you are among these, you know, artists that are trying to bring back the vibes, you know, from, you know, because Josh was telling me about, you know, the business trying to overshadow the content, you know. But
okay.
when we listen to you, we are confident that the content and the music will come back again and sit on top of the music, the business, sorry, and not the other way around. So tell us about, you know, your experience right now coming into the scene now, how you see the scene that you're inside right now from what it used to be back then.
I think the music has shifted, you know, dramatically. The whole paradigm has shifted dramatically, and you know, what it used to be is not what it is now, which to me is a natural phenomenon. You understand? Because, you know, it will be hypocritical for me to think that the beat of the music would have remained the same, because being as how well music metamorphosizes itself. You understand? It can take on any shape and form. It just comes down to how wide you can extend your imagination as the creator of whatever you're doing. You understand? So for me, there is much head over heels about you know the direction that the music is taking, because I know that it will take different direction. It will come down to the kind of thoughts, the chain of thought that is put in, and the colossal of thought that's put in into activity and into manifestation. So what is happening now is that the contents now is really the problem to me, and not even to me, but to the world music industry. You know, the contents, because every day we listen, especially what is going on now in Jamaica, all we can hear is just, you know, violence and killing and you know, all type of, you know, illicity and all type of lewdness and, you know, rudeness and lewdness, and you know what I say. So now people who have never really experienced the blood, sweat, and tears of this genre now has taken it for a ride. You understand? With no respect and no regard for those who have set the trend and have laid down and paved the foundation for this great expression that we call music. Understand? For this great opportunity that the Most High has blessed us with with this vehicle and mechanism for us as a people to express ourselves to the universe. Understand? So a lot of people is misled by it and start to do all different type of things that is not compatible to what we started out. But and at the same time, I understand there's gonna be negative and there's gonna be positive. You understand? Because if you look how well darkness illuminate light, you understand? You know, because if you light a candle and you put it out in the sun, if nobody show you directly that a candle is out there, maybe you will bypass it and don't even look at it. But the night comes down and you see how bright that light shine. You understand? So it's also an opportunity for the light to shine in this spiritual darkness that is happening and going on right now in the world. You know, so what happening now is that as negative as this look, there's a great positive to it, because people who has great components of positivity to offer will now be seen clearly. You understand? So you can separate the truth from the error. You understand? The truth from the errors. You understand? So it's a great opportunity, and nothing don't happen that the Most High God not have control over. You understand? There's nothing that happened that the Most High not have control over, because every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess. You understand? There's none that shall escape the judgment, regardless of who you think you are or rebellious you think you are. You will be summoned and subject to subjection. You understand? So right now, the music, I'm saying the world dynamics, the world paradigm have shifted musically. It have shifted socially. It have shifted spiritually. So this is an expression of what is really going on in the world right now. You know, most of the youth them living the life of Cain right now. You know, who's ready to shed their brother's blood, and this is just prophetic, and this is just naturally, you know, unveiling of the prophetics. Understand?
May I go play a track one more, you know, from your EP right now, thing called All That I Have, I Give. Donovan Banzana.
Certainly, brother.
Said I'm all the way in man, or all the way out. All that I have, I give. And I'm not the kind of man who will go running up his mouth. But all that I have, I give. So all that I have, I give. I never hold back. All that I have, I give. All that I have, I give. I never hold back. All that I have, I give. I will walk the extra mile and bless you with a smile. 'Cause all that I have, I give. I'm not the kind that can pretend, so forever I will be your friend. All that I have, I give. All that I have, I give. I never hold back. All that I have, I give. All that I have, I give. I never hold back. All that I have, I give. I give it all, I give it all, I give it all. I give it all, I give it all, I give it all. 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 When a man is in love and so in love, all that he has, he gives. And he will sleep out in the cold for the of his soul, all that he has, he gives. So all that I have, I give.
I never hold back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what now, Donovan? You know what now? Because
yes,
this tune, you know, this tune kind of. I was listening or reading up what Alfred Bowman said, the brother who runs LA Music, yeah.
Yeah.
The album you brought out, you know, Life Codes of Ethic.
Okay.
We say this album, this work is like food for the soul. When I listen to this track playing All That I Have, I Give, it's that same thing, you know, in your music, it's like it's touching. One can relate to your vibes, you know.
Yeah. Give thanks, brother.
Yeah, really and truly. So the album we're talking about was self-produced by you, yeah?
Yeah.
That's Life Codes of Ethic, yeah?
Yeah.
Now, as an artist and a producer, how do you combine this? I mean, do you take charge of all your works, or it was just what you wanted to do yourself?
What happened? And all right, let me get from the initial stage. Even coming up as a child in school, I was more. I would consider myself to be a great composer. Let's say great. I would consider myself to be a efficient composer.
Don't take that back. You are a great composer, man.
I just want
let me just. I know, but hey, all right, go on then. Go on, me now go come in.
So all the while when you know we were always writing you know, writing songs, writing composition in school. I was like on top of my game with that. You know, we'll always get our 100 out of 100 whenever time, you know, we come to composition, to letter writing, any type of English literature, you know, history, civics, all of these things, you know. I could do maths well, but I wouldn't say I was the greatest mathematician. Understand? You know? So what happened is that composing has always been like my comfort zone. You know, my comfort zone. I like to. I think I was blessed with words. I think, you know, God has given me, you know, the ability to you know, just decorate words into beautiful things. You know, so even with my first album, my debut album, when I was signed to Island Records, my first album, my two albums, all my work so far was, you know, was and still written by me personally. I was very active into the arrangements, you know, because every time a song, you know, I'm inspired to write something, you know, there was always the full element of the expression of the song. I could hear the bass playing, I could hear the arrangement, you know, we can hear the drum, what kind of drum we need. I hear the entire song to its entirety. But oftentimes you would just give the musician, you know, their space to take it to the next level. You know, on my debut album, you know, which is World Power, when I was signed to Island Records, you know, I was very active in bringing the fundamentals of what I was feeling in my spirit as a song to the musicians, the early greats like, you know, Jackie Mitu, Sly and Robbie, Handel Tucker, Cat Core, the great, you know, Dean Fraser, the phenomenal, yeah, and Nambo, God rest his soul, you know, Scully, just all. This brother used to play with Whaler also. I don't remember his name right now. He used to play keyboard. But all of these great musicians, I had an opportunity to work with, and you know, my team, my team was picked from the best crop of musicians in Jamaica at the time, the most powerful international musicians that were available and accessible. You know, Jack Ruby drew for those two projects, you know. So, you know, the thing was built on a certain pedestal that we really give thanks for, you know, because before I had one song playing I was signed to a record company at the time, you know, to
Donovan,
Island.
we did lose you there a while. You said before you had one song. That's where
yeah.
Go ahead from there, please.
Yeah. Before I had one song playing on the air, nationally or internationally, I was signed to a record company, the most prominent record company with that does reggae at the time, which was Island Records. You know, so it was really a very great moment for me, you know, within my time of my music, my life of music, you know. So it transcends into when we reach to the second album. All the greats were there, same way. We were touring continental Europe and North America, you know, consistently and successively. And then, you know, I did the Code of Ethics album, you know, with an independent company up in New York, you know, and I brought all my material to that project also. I did all my writing, all my arrangements, you know, was done by me. And what I didn't play was, you know, I expressed my expertise to. You know, we brought in the people who played the guitar, and it was executively done by the brother who had the independent company at the time. You know, whether it was a front or whatever it was. You know, so we did that project, and that project, you know, it gave me the Independent Artist of the Year. That was 2005 at the time. You know, and then, you know, there was some discrepancy with me and the person who owned the record, who claimed he owned the record company, and we, you know, it never get off the ground as well as it should. But, you know, what I understand about intellectual property is that the artist's own is intellectual property rights for a lifetime plus 70 years. So it is always within my liberty to redo my songs whenever time comes, because I am the source from the source. Understand?
Now, you just touched on the year where actually I, in particular, this is when I started to, like, you know, get message, you know, your music, you know. 2005, you were on a tour then in the US, in New York, where you mashed up the stage, and your performance there was that's what introduced you to me personally. I don't know about others. That's when I started to check out Donovan Banzana and say, "Blood fire, this brother noisy, you know." You have been on the stage with so many greats also. Right now,
that's good.
The world is going through a very serious time where live stage performance is no more possible for now since last year. How are you dealing with this? How are you coping with this, you know, with this challenge as an artist, someone who is used to being on the road? Because I think you're so many artists who are even older than you have not performed in so many places just like you have done. You know, you've moved around from
you know, that has been good. Yeah, that has been good. He has granted me an opportunity, has favored me, you know, to see some places and do some things. You know, as you know, always I pray that, you know, whatever I do will be for the edification of his people and for the glorification of him. Understand? So that's my intention, and that will always be my intention. You know, so, you know, we've been to some places, been, you know, to the point where I've reached Africa, and you know, it was a good vibe also. You know, out of every negative, sometimes, you know, some negative, all positive pop out somewhere. We meet some great people, you know, some great people on the ground, and, you know, been around some great brothers. Bless up the youth, I mean, Kenya, you know, bless up Mickey Jones and Japila and, you know, Empress Nazizi and Lavasti and, you know, Rasmarugi and some nice people, some very great people that, you know, that did well, and, you know, Sister Princess Wakisho and some nice people that took care of me on the grounds, you know, and made the trip a possibility. You know, because I went for 7 days and I stayed there for 7 months.
Wow.
Yeah, that's that. So it was a good vibe. You know, it have its days, you know, and, you know, God has been good. You know, brought me out safely, you know, and we give him all the glory, you know. Yeah. You know, right now, you know, what is happening now, according to what we see is taking place in the world right now. You know, it's just that for a musician, it's really hard because, you know, we as musicians, we pull our energy from the audience, and so we deliver our energy also to the audience. So when, you know, so this you know, this kind of streaming and, you know, technology is good and everything, but the natural vibration of people, you know, energy coming off of the stage into the people's face, and the people sending back that sweat and energy back to you, nothing beats that. Nothing beats that. You know, nothing beats you standing there and corresponding with the people, you know, demonstrating what you've been blessed with, and the people receiving and accepting that. Nothing beats that. No streaming ever overtake that. You know, so I see a lot of things being, you know, people trying a lot of things, but I understand that's where Babylon wanted to be. You know, so what is happening now that they have dragged it to this point, and I think it is starting to fit in their agenda. You know, everything has been tough on the different artists, you know, that you know, can't get the opportunity to tour as extensively as we used to do, and gather our food from the street, you know, and thing. But I think what is happening now is I think it's just time for preparation. So each and its purpose, who has substance, who has anything to offer, will be of any caliber. It's a time now for them to sit down and put a great music, write great songs if you are inspired to do so. Great musician to play some great music. Because what I know about this, I don't know what is out there. I don't know if it's COVID-19, 20 or 21, but all I know is that it's not Almighty. It is not Jehovah Jireh. You understand? So this must pass. I know that this have to go under subjection somewhere, somehow. And whenever time this break, there will be a great opportunity for great people to do great things again. You know, so that is, I think it's just preparation time right now, musically. You know, we can see the signs, you know, at the time. We can see the prophetics, you know, unleashing itself, you know. But one thing I know, good will always overcome evil, you know. So it's still time for, you know, people just, you know, live a repentive life, man, a clean life, man, every day, and walk up full, you know. And it said those who are filthy will be filthy still, and those who are upful will be upful still, you know. Now, these are the days when we are going to separate the wheat from the tares, and the days when the sheep are going to separate from the goat. You understand? So people are going to show them real qualities. The scriptures just have to fulfill, regardless of where a man want thing. When I come tell about white man, righty and this and that, of course, if he want right, if he busy, but I want you to know all scriptures was inspired from the Most High, written by inspired men. Understand? So we don't want to get into the stubbornness and the rebelliousness of our mind, trying to rebel against the integrity of the word of the Most High. Understand? Because what happens is that these people, understand, who have enslaved the mind of of the so-called common people. You understand? The 1% was taking the opportunity to unleash this kind of situation on the mass. You know, they thought they were doing us bad when they gave us the scriptures. But it's the best thing they ever did. You know, it was the best thing that they ever did. Understand? Because that has brought such great spiritual consciousness to the people. Understand? And if I can make another reference to His Majesty, he say, if we as Christians should follow the way of our Lord and Savior, and so he said that. Understand? Then the world would have been in peace. And he say, I myself, I glorified in the scriptures. You understand? You know, I myself, I glorified in the scriptures. Him say, Christ is the life that every living man should exemplify. And the last time I look at the word exemplified mean make an example of. You understand? So, you know, we have to just live and live clean, virgin. And it doesn't matter who were here first and who come last. The problem is gonna be where is righteousness? Because righteousness is still the way, and holiness is still the way. So if you were here first or you come last and there's no holiness to it and there's no righteousness to it, it's still gonna be self-destruction. You understand? So that's just that's how it is right now. So we understand everything that's going on with the pandemic and the whole situation. But one thing I can assure and surely say that this COVID-19 20 or 21 or whatever it is not God Almighty. So Uncle God Almighty, lasts forever. You understand? It is forever lasting to everlasting. So, it have to pass somewhere. It have to become normalized situation where just like dengue and any other things, in my professional opinion, you understand? Because a lot of people just, when we listen to scientific guesses, scientific analysis, we hear ignorance, we hear collective thinking, then we hear professional opinions, and but you don't hear the truth. You don't hear no directives. It's like everybody just keep on guessing. But guess what happened? One thing I'm very sure of, it is not God Almighty, so it have to pass.
Well, you just mentioned something that resonates with me very strongly, my brother, because I myself was unfortunate, or maybe fortunate, to get this virus while I was in England in December. I came back. Yeah. But the crazy thing is that during this time I was fighting, or my system was battling with this virus, there was always a message coming to me inside, say, listen, Chidi, this is not from the Almighty Creator. It's not natural. And you don't have to be scared. You can be scared of what humans made. Because, it was a real battle. I'm not telling you something that happened to somebody else. It happened to me. For 10 days, I was in quarantine in my own yard, and I was going through some serious thing, inside my temple, inside my system. And of course, in flesh and bone, you sometimes worry, is it going to lead to something else? But the confidence was there because the voice was telling me, this is not from nature. Don't be scared about it. You are not that being. You can't be scared of what humans made. And that was what was keeping me on that level, until I was able to overcome it. So give thanks for this word because it's true. So people out there, you heard it from Donovan. He said, don't be scared. Have strong faith in you that.
Yeah, man. You have full faith, man.
Yeah.
I understand. Because as it's saying now, it's a fret not of the man who can destroy the body, but fret for the man who can destroy both body and soul. You understand? So there's some ignorance where some people would, I read a lot of ignorance. I read a lot of intelligent guesses, and you hear all type of crap too. You understand? But something is out there that is, being destructive to the people. We know it is not from God. We know that it is from man. You understand? Manifesting themselves as the devil. You understand? With their devilish ways. That's where it came from. you know, science is great, but science is destructive also, because out of science come great medicine, but out of science come all of these destructive elements that we are facing today in creation. You understand? But I would just appeal to the people, you know, if the shark came from the sea and tell us, you know, down there salt, then why wouldn't you not believe? Why would you try to believe the eagle who's in the sky that the sea is salt? It's easier for the eagle to tell you about the cloud, you understand, than for the shark to tell you about the cloud. You understand? Because the eagle is always up in the cloud, while the shark is in the sea. So if the shark come from the sea and tell us down the salt, I may have to believe. Now Babylon are doing thing and tell us, yo, protect yourself. Why not protect yourself? Have reason that's why you have to protect yourself.
Yeah, that's it from Donovan. We are going to play one more track, yeah?
Yes, my brother, without pleasure.
Yourself. So, and we are saying, with this track now, dress up like a Halloween, straight up from Donovan's EP, thing called.
Shedding of blood, that's where they delight. There's cryptic belief of fainted-hearted, they will brainwash and deceive. Cryptic belief, say they will calm you, and then embalm you. They all dress up like Halloween. I say they all dress up like Halloween. The Rastaman, the living dread. Night of the living day. On them can't change the prophecy that have been said. Legions is who they are. Oh, they are many. Oh, yes, they are many. Legions is who they are. But they don't fear any. No, we don't fear any.
When asked about his music, he said, the music that I sing and the message is like a bullet.
That's true, man. And you know, Chidi, what happened is that, you know, I must give great accolades to Mr. Desi Jones, Joshua Jones, and you know, the people who have been very strongly behind this project. Understand? You know, Desi has really poured out his spirit into this, you know, with his drumming, and Joshua did the same, keyboardist did the same. And you know, this album, this EP is a great move forward, and I really appreciate the energy of what they have done to bring it to this level, you know. Even the arrangements and this but what mostly done by Des Jones and his crew, the school crew. You know, so I really appreciate it. I really have to extend my appreciation to Desi and his son, and you know, the rest of people that were very active in making such great music.
Great. Nice to hear that. You know, they both were a while ago in this event.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is the whole musical family going forward. And I just want to ask before we get to the end of this with you, how did you get then involved with the Greg Isaac Foundation and to be in this project?
I think I would consider it to be a favor. I think because there's so many millions of artists in the world that they could have called for this project. Is that? But you know, I was chosen to be a part of it mainly through the connection with Mr. Des Jones also. And I'm very appreciative of it. I'm very thankful to Reggae Isaac, you know, Foundation for, you know, considering me as a part of the, you know, whole interlude. You know, it has been a good vibe. I like it, you know, and I think, you know, if ever they need me for another project like this, or, you know, anybody else would consider me to be a part of something of this dynamics, you know, I'll be very welcome to do so, you know.
Yeah, you see, people, right now, before we even talk about considering you for the next project, let them hear the works you done with the project we have in hand right now.
Of course.
This is Donovan Banzana, thing called It's Magic. Listen to this.
Oh, yes. Listen.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. There is something about the way you make me feel. Oh, girl, it's magic.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. There is something about the way you make me feel. Oh, girl, it's magic. And the way you make me feel, I will reveal. 'Cause it's magic. I love your imperfections. I see no deception in you. What a beautiful reaction. So let me say it all over again. There is something about the way you make me feel. Oh, girl, it's magic. And the way you make me feel, I will reveal. Let's talk about it, girl. You make me wanna rock and groove. Oh, babe, I hope you will approve. On a scale from 1 to 10, can we do it all over again? But there is something about the way you make me feel. Oh, girl, it's magic. Wow. And the way you make me feel, I will reveal. 'Cause it's magic.
Yes, Donovan.
Yes, I.
Powerful delivery there, you know, because
yeah.
This rhythm is not something anyone can come in and just
nah.
It's powerful. We tell you, man, it's one of my favorites still. You know?
Yeah, man, we give thanks, man, you know.
So we'll be
go on. Yeah, man, I really have to extend, my appreciation to, the folks that has gotten me involved with the project, because I think it's more than just, it was more than just, to me, more than just an opportunity to be on a rhythm, but to be a part of a tribute to a great icon as Gregory Isaac has been a very indelible moment for me, Yeah, man.
True. And we're definitely gonna be,
Yes,
seeing a lot of Donovan in the foundation project. The foundation is now registered in at least 3 countries, to be precise, and the registration in other countries are coming up. One of the countries which is Kenya, and is registered in Nigeria, where I come from, and of course registered in Ghana. So there will be a lot of things going on with the foundation after this whole thing is over, where people can travel, back and forth.
Yeah.
And so, we're looking forward to having you come back to Africa greatly, because we know you love to perform. We know you have this energy that kind of touches the audience. So we can say nothing other than you are part of the family. And we hope
true, man. Of course, I give thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much, brother Donovan Banzana, for passing through.
Thank you for having me too, Chidi. Thank you for having me, my brother.
Trust me, man. Any words you have for your fans out there and all those listening right now?
Yeah, always. There's always a word. There's always a word. There's always a word. It's a righteousness exalted a nation, and sin is destruction to any man. So I just want people to know, some man. These are the days when a man's supposed to clean up his heart. Understand? So that's what we are saying right now. Just walk good, walk clean, walk holy, walk in the beauty of holiness, because without that it's destruction,
Yes, sir. And with that from Donovan, we are going to pull up this tune one more time. Thing called His Majesty. It's been a magical moment with you, my brother. So hail up.
All right, sir. Give thanks.
Family, the whole St. Mary family. And
yes, sir.
Your team, because we're loving it. Yeah, straight from
man. And bless up the whole of Africa and the entire universe. Bless up the Martian, them up on Mars and
see. Think call it magic on Donovan Banzana.
All right, sir. Blessings.
Eyes.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me again.
Let's talk about